Hey guys, how's it going? PBJ here. Sorry, I got a guy weed eating out there. Hope you can hear me properly. Yes, I'm going to be covering something I saw with Megan Kelly, who I'm starting to really worry about. Not worry about so much, but certainly her positions. And I understand she's grieving, but yeah, you see who's on the split screen with her, and let's get into it. I just want to find the section that I'm actually looking for.
And such a powerful, important voice just because you're absolutely disgusted and about. This is madness.
Okay.
Couldn't care less. You've gotten mad, especially the only one who's been threatened,
Listen to
who was
this.
threatened to cut ties with you or not platform you. I too have gotten mad, especially since you've been more outspoken on Israel. And I couldn't care less the amount of pressure they put on. Like, what are you talking about? This is madness. Why would you want to silence such a powerful, important voice just because you disagree with them on one subject, one on which we've all watched you sincerely evolve as you grapple with principles you've been espousing for years?
You heard that. Principles he's been espousing for years. Okay, let's see the principles that he's espousing to. Because this is important. Karis Rea, who I deeply respect and I will hope she will go after these people, said that this was just before Charlie Kirk was shot, and it's a dreadful thing to happen. But you are doing this rather than let the man rest in peace and honor his family. You want to go after conspiracy theories. Okay, let's play that little game. She has not called this man out. He has said some horrendous things, and I'm going to play it for you right fucking now. Works both ways, free speech. You don't get to get free speech, and when you're criticized, say, oh, I'm not just asking questions. No, it doesn't work like that, pal. It doesn't fucking work like that.
It's a large number
2006.
around the world who are sympathetic to these acts of craziness. Pew Research poll findings that 1 of every 4 Muslim Americans younger than 30 believes suicide bombing
2007.
is justifiable. For instance, do you believe that Arabs carried out the 9/11 attacks? Only 40% believe Arabs carried them out. I get that decent
2016.
attacks would feel like they're being unfairly portrayed as terrorists. I understand all that.
He's all anti-Muslim. He's all pro.
This really is a real problem, and it's discrediting all of us. And until we take it seriously, it's going to continue. Now, we can debate the details here, but it's at least
2017.
baseline, and that is that there have been an awful lot of attacks where actual people died in the United States and in Europe, committed by people saying really clearly we're acting in the name of Islam. Hasidic Jews, I mean, they're a set-apart community, speak a different language, not assimilated, but I don't see a lot of terror attacks committed by those groups. We'll often hear Americans say, I have said, including last night, is that assimilation is the problem, is people are not assimilated. And yet you look around, and there are actually a number of groups in our society and yours who are assimilated. Hasidic Jews live apart, the Amish live apart, they pose no threat at all to the country they live in. They love the country. Why is this group different? Well, the Muslim population of the West is rising very quickly, and that has implications for social cohesion or national security. So if I say, as Islamic countries do, you don't have a choice. You have to age up. You need to be modest, and if you're not, you could get raped, and if you do, it's your fault. And you have to avert your gaze from men. For example, women are asked to walk behind their husbands, or in some countries, you're not allowed to drive or vote. Under certain circumstances, can that be empowering? Can female genital mutilation be empowering? That's common in Islamic countries. An Austrian woman was convicted of, quote, disparaging religion. She was fined more than $500.
2018.
Suggesting that Muhammad's marriage to a 6-year-old constituted a form of pedophilia. She claimed her comments were protected by the freedom of speech because she is a European, and traditionally they would have been, but things have changed now. So in other words, a standard that has long prevailed in the Islamic world, which is that you can be punished for criticizing Muhammad, is now the law in Europe. Exactly right. The bomber was born in Britain, not some far-off land, but he still grew up to embrace Islamic.
Sorry guys, it's important to get the context here.
On the country that raised him and kill his neighbors, in effect. There are many more like him. So when you watch the American response, even the cultural response to an event like what happened in your country on Monday,
he's aged badly.
Are you surprised by how few of the lessons Americans are learning from this?
Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
Stucker
Never been to Saudi Arabia, and I can't wait to go for a glimpse of what the future holds, because that's what you see when you go to the Gulf, because of its scale, its significance in Islam. He's like, you know what Islam means? Submission. And like let it hang in the air, like that was self-evidently disgusting. And I was like, I kind of think submission to God is like the whole point of life, but I didn't say anything. I was like, I don't think I'm against that.
This is an existential threat to the Western way of life. Yeah, I really believe that.
Anyone who submits to God, like, I'm just for that.
No,
Good evening,
I'm gonna
welcome
watch.
to Tucker
Shut
Carlson.
up,
Tonight has been a tough couple of
douchebag.
years for the
Now you heard what she said. Just hang on. Let's just go back here.
I couldn't care less the amount of pressure they put on. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is madness. Why would you want to silence such a powerful, important voice just because you disagree with them on one subject, one on which we've all watched you sincerely evolve as you grapple with principles you've been espousing for years, like America First, like what's happening to Christians.
He's been espousing for years. I showed you from 2006 or 2007 to the present. Oh, shout outs to Milk Bar TV. A big thorn in this guy's side. Either she's deaf, dumb, and blind, or she knows and she's friends with this guy. That's not the only thing he said. He has dedicated most of his shows currently, most about Israel. He took a jab at Benjamin Netanyahu just when he went on. J.D. Vance hosted the Charlie Kirk show. And what does he do? Takes a jab at Israel. Subtly, of course. In that Tucker way, you know. That. Who the fuck names their kid Tucker? I mean, come on. You want him to be beaten up? This guy spent fucking most of his years at college in his goddamn locker. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, she doesn't see that. You're telling me she's ignorant to the fact that he has had on guests that have said Israel is a demonic state? Different opinions? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can have different opinions on what Israel's doing in Gaza. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But to have on people who have espoused, who aren't historians, by the way, who aren't studied this subject, their opinions, that Hitler, we should have allied with Hitler rather than with Stalin, that Churchill was the villain of World War II. He has had him on, and by the way, he doesn't push back one iota. One iota. She doesn't have a problem with that. That's just asking questions. And these do have consequences. Because this guy is getting a lot of Muslim viewership. In fact, they were praising him. The very people that were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death were praising him on X. Now you tell me, Megyn Kelly doesn't see that, and well, they wanted to pressure me not to be your friend, and I can't understand why. I just showed you why. She can be his friend as much as she wants, but don't expect no pushback from it, lady. And you are not the arbiter just because you defended Israel here and there, very watered down, by the way, doesn't give you the right to decide what Israel must do, or you are not the Prime Minister of Israel. Okay? And by the way, she also used this, said they invited her to come see Israel. She's never been, and she turned it down because she's an independent woman. This guy just praised Sharia law, which would take all your rights away. So how are you and he, do you agree with him? Don't you think that's crazy? And it's interesting that he wasn't, and now suddenly the man is praising Sharia law. The man said Hamas was a political organization, not a terrorist group. In fact, let me play that. You know what? You got the gist of it. I'm not going to go and play it now. But this is what... And Karis Rea, a brilliant investigator, an actual investigative journalist, not a propagandist, not bought by Qatar like this fucking asshole. He's going to be start wearing the headpiece. You might as well do it, because he's bought and paid for. She's got a problem with donors, or certainly Candace Owens, donors to Charlie Kirk who were Jewish. This fucking guy's got Qatari money behind him. It's in black and white. He was paid to interview the Prime Minister of Qatar, whatever the hell he is. And of course Iran. How did he get that right? That would be interesting to dig into. If you're an investigative journalist, Megyn Kelly, going for low-hanging fruit, are we? Is that how it works now? Whatever gets you more clicks? I don't doubt that she's sad that Charlie Kirk is dead. But your grief is getting in the way of your reason. And don't you dare, Megyn Kelly, if you even go close to saying Israel had something to do with this, you will be my enemy. And not to say any threats, I wouldn't threaten people in terms of the cyberspace. You will fall off my cart very quickly. And don't think I won't come after you. All this douchebag. Yes, people. And why I'm getting so worked up about this, guys. I have already seen the man has not been dead. He's been dead, about a week now? There was that gun-ho fucking lunatic who should not have a pop gun, let alone an AR-15. He's got them all paraded behind him. He's got the cross. Yeah, no, I'm not a Nazi, but he fits all the criteria. Showing us pictures of some guy on a thing with a black glove and there's an AR-15 thing. What a load of nonsense, man. You fucking Yanks. Not everything's a goddamn conspiracy. The guy confessed. His father had to detain him. You know something? Israel will be fine. You know, and it's amazing to me. In Israel, they've all got guns. They have to. Not because they want to. This big God-given rights and all this crap. 1776 and all this loony talk. It's to protect themselves from the terrorists. They are not a gun culture. They're not into it. If they could stop carrying guns, they would do it in a heartbeat. How is it that in this place, guns, you dare take my guns away from me? And that's fine. It's in their constitution. I haven't got a gripe with it. Look, I'm not personally a fan of guns, okay? But I do understand the concept, yes. And if more gun owners were in South Africa, we would have less crime. I agree with it totally. But this over-the-top kind of, by gripping my gun to my heart and God-given right and all this shite. I don't know. I'm finding it very disturbing where America's going. And Megyn Kelly is a profoundly good journalist, whatever the hell. She's a lawyer too, I think. But you are really digging in the sewers right now. When you cannot call out this man for what he has said and stated. And we all know you know what he said. And Candace Owens, who you also defended, who is now using her friend's death to profit off it. Don't tell me she's not. She's not interested in the truth. This is a woman, Michael Francis, ex-mob guy. Oh, well, there could be some link between Israel being cross with Charlie. Not to say that he killed him. No, there's no proof of that. But Candace is a very good journalist. She's very clever. She's not. She's being sued by the Macrons because she said that his wife had a penis. Okay? With no evidence. Did a goddamn 2-hour documentary. Now she's going on this grift. It's making her money. Clicks. Let me ask you. You put out a title, Transgender Kills Charlie Kirk because he, whatever. Probably get 100,000 views if you're lucky. Probably not that many. Israel involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. 3 million views in an hour on Candace Owens's. Well, she didn't say that, but she implicated, and she got millions and millions of views. What does that tell you? She's grifting. This makes her money. Now, I don't know about you, but if my friend was murdered, who I had an association with, I owe my career to Charlie Kirk. He did discover her and put her on that thing. He must be spinning in his grave right now. The thought that he created this monster. She has used her friend's death to be his pastors come out against her, who she went at with all fangs. She's gone after a guy called Bill Ackman, a billionaire. By the way, at Turning Point USA, where this douchebag was allowed to speak by Charlie Kirk, and that was the people who were saying, look, why are you platforming this guy? He's vicious anti-Semite, and he is. He did say on that stage, while people were walking out, he said, where does Bill Ackman get his money? Well, I've got a question for you. If I was in that crowd, I would have said, where's your money coming from? Last time I checked, you were being paid by the Qataris. Where's your money coming from, Tucker Carlson? Megyn Kelly, why don't you ask him that question? Or it doesn't get clicks. These people are sick. I'm starting to believe that American society is sick. Sick. You can't just grieve. Take some time and grieve. No. We've got to get out there. Oh, this androgynous looking guy, that's a face mask in assassinations. He doesn't fucking know that. He's this fucking redneck dumbass who lives out in the sticks somewhere with his AR-15s and he probably sticks his dick into every 5 minutes. Oh, this is assassinations. They did it. Yeah, how much were you in the military? Maybe he was. If Mossad, let me put it to you this way. If Mossad wanted to take out Charlie Kirk, he would have taken out this douchebag long ago. Because he's been the one spouting all this insanity. And Candace Owens. They're still very much alive and very much shouting from the rooftops this insanity. Do you know that, was it a month ago, one of the biggest aliyah, the biggest immigration of American Jews made aliyah to Israel from America. Not from Canada, not from Australia, not from Britain, where the anti-Semitism is out of control, not from France, where the anti-Semitism is out of control. America. And their reasons, most of them, it's becoming intolerable to be Jewish in America. That should make you sad. I'm just asking questions. Yeah, but you're not allowing anyone to, you ask questions, but when people criticize you, you go, well, I'm not anti-Semitic. You are anti-Semitic. Very anti-Semitic, Tucker Carlson. You are obsessed with the state of Israel. You even used your friend's death at when J.D. Vance, you never pushed back on him, by the way, saying it was wrong for foreign leaders. We all know who he meant. He's talking about Netanyahu. He couldn't just let it be a moment. No, he had to bring in Israel. He's got to do what his Qatari paymasters tell him, because he is being paid. He's a shrill. Let's be honest. You saw on that video what the fuck was going on there. This is what else is these two douchebags. I'm sorry. I don't hate Megyn Kelly, but she is playing with fire now. She doesn't know what this man has said, and she's still friends with him. She still has a rapport with him. If she was a real friend to him, she would say, listen, we've got to stop this now. This is nonsense. I've defended Israel every time. Oh, have you? Have you? You You don't demand anything of Israel. You're a fucking journalist in America. Just because now and again you've been, oh, I've defended Israel every single time. Oh, thank you very much. You don't get to tell them how to fight. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Who the hell are you, Megyn Kelly? You're a former lawyer. I don't think you've even practiced law. You went and sat on Fox News with your fucking tits hanging out, talking. No, you don't get to tell Israel what to do just because you've got a fucking mic in front of you. Don't forget who you are and who Bibi Netanyahu is and what Israel is. Fucking arrogant Americans, really, they fucking piss me off. The sun doesn't rise and fall with the US. And by the way, you carry on like this, you're not going to have a country anymore. Because America is falling apart at the seams. And if you turn your back on Israel, you're done. You're done.
It's like, what's best for us and our kids here? How do I keep them safe? That's my number one priority. And I've been just absolutely disgusted. And it's here. How do I keep them safe? Years, like America First. Like what's happening to Christians. Like what's best for us and our kids here. How do I keep them safe? That's my...
Hang on a second. Christians? Tucker Carlson hasn't spoken a jot about the Christians being killed in Africa, in Sudan, in Syria. No, he invited on Mantha Isaacs, who lives under the Palestinian Authority, who has a conference called Christ at the Checkpoint Conference, who dressed the baby Jesus in a keffiyeh, who is vehemently hateful of Israel. He had him in to talk about Christians in the Holy Land being persecuted in Israel, where out of all the countries in the Middle East, Christianity is growing in Israel, not in the West Bank, in Israel. And Mantha Isaac, may I remind you, praised the October 7th attacks. Praised them. That's the Christians he's defending. So no, don't come here. Don't get onto the distraction of he carries the banner for the Christians. He does nothing of the sort. He's a liar. He's in the pay of Qatar. And it's about time we called him out on it. And show him for what he really is. This man is dangerous. He's going around saying some hateful things about Israel and Jews. And he's hiding behind the fact that, oh, I'm just asking questions. No, you're not. You're in the pay of Qatar. Bring that up. Megyn Kelly. Fuck. It's disgusting. You people are disgusting.
Number one priority. And I've been just absolutely disgusted and recoiled from people who have tried to pressure me on it. It, of course, never happened. But I know from speaking to Charlie, he felt it too. You've heard it from Charlie, that he felt it. And there is a layer
Look at
here
this
of
fucking dullard.
nefarious pressure to have certain narratives go
Oh,
only
what's
one
that?
way.
Yes.
That must be called out and must be
Let's
fought.
go to something else. No, you need to know who you stand with, Megyn Kelly. And right now you're standing with Tucker Carlson, who has said the most outrageous things without any proof whatsoever, has payments sent to him by Qatar, has gone to Saudi Arabia and endorsed God knows what, as stated. How convenient. Suddenly Sharia law is not so bad. Really? Not so bad? I don't know about that. Goes against everything Megyn Kelly stands for. She was living under Sharia law. She wouldn't be having that conversation with Tucker Carlson. She would be in a burqa. That's where she'd be. And he praised it as some kind of actually a good thing. You know, Islam is submission to God. What's wrong with submitting to God? Well, if you don't submit to their God, they chop your fucking head off. If you steal under Sharia law, you get your fucking hand cut off. You want that for your society? Megyn Kelly? Because as far as I'm concerned, he's a paid shrill. But Megyn Kelly, is that what you want? God, these people make me sick. Carlson takes a jab at Bibi Netanyahu. Let's see that. Tucker? I hate this guy. I hate hate his name. It sucks. It obviously hated him when he was born because they named him Tucker. That's such a stupid name. Really, you Yanks don't know how to name your kids. J.D. Vance. You should have called him out, but didn't. Excuse me. Is this the one? Let me just see.
But I had it, Tucker, I think you know this, and some of you know a long time, what a good guy he was.
That his Christianity was sincere, and his commitment to Jesus was totally sincere.
Oh, was
and it, sometimes isn't, especially in public figures who throw out Bible verses they don't understand and stuff like that.
Like you.
And that was, he was much younger than I. It wasn't, people knew what was going on behind the language I'm famous for in private, and he would never.
With God, he wanted them, the Vice President of the United States, it included for us. And one way in particular, I was very touched by this. I actually texted Mark about it, to bring people together from across.
For this, and I think the reason that Charlie was able to bridge the gap, particularly in foreign policy, good faith is the measure. And I have to say, I think now is exactly the wrong time to appropriate the memory of someone and the emotion that comes with that, the really intense emotion that all of us feel at his murder, and use it for your own parochial ends. Like, he stood for this, and I think the reason that Charlie was...
You know why, he's talking about. Maybe Netanyahu came out and said that it spoke about the times that Charlie had come to Israel. He did. Spoke about how he loved Israel and he missed Charlie. For your own ends. Oh, really? That's not what you're doing, Tucker Carlson? Talk about self-reflection. Using an opportunity to talk about your friend's legacy, to take a jab at Israel. Don't tell me this guy's not an anti-Semite, or certainly anti-Israel and a hater of Israel. What else do you call it? And the fact he's been paid by Qatar. Why didn't you ask him that? J.D. Vance. Israel just took out the Hamas leadership in Qatar. And the speculation, of course, always whenever Israel does anything, it's always speculative. If it's true that the Americans did not know about this operation, Israel can bypass American air defense. I don't know if that's true, because otherwise I would have been going on about it. But Israel took out Hamas, and we still don't know what's actually. We haven't seen these people, but I think it was more of a. I don't think it was. If Israel wanted to kill them, they could. And for years they never did it in Qatar because whoever the president was, it wasn't right, because there is a largest American base in the Middle East, is there. For what reason, I don't fucking know. Carlson thinks they're an ally. But when it comes to Israel, I don't know what that means. This guy's such a dick. Goes and shrills for fucking Putin. Goes and shrills for Qatar. And yet he uses this moment, not to praise Charlie Kirk or talk about Charlie in a personal... No, brings in the fact that Netanyahu, and we all know he's fucking... And not just... Lots of world leaders came out and said, gave their condolences. Why he chooses that specific, and we know he's talking about Netanyahu. Because he has to do what his paymasters tell him, obviously. It's amazing how he's changed on all these subjects after, I don't know, going to Saudi Arabia. Suddenly he's had a revelation that Islam, submitting to God, that's a good thing. No, it's the paycheck. That's what it is. And a deep-rooted hatred of Israel, which he's toyed with since he's really been relevant on the conservative side, because he wasn't always a conservative. It's clear to me that, and it's dangerous that he's so close to J.D. Vance, because he has influence. In fact, Josh Hammer, calls this guy the most dangerous anti-Semite out there because of his influence. Because of his influence and the fact that he's so close, well, not so much with Trump, but people are saying J.D. Vance is possibly going to be the next president. Now, I don't know where J.D. Vance stands on Israel personally. I do care, but I think Israel needs, and I think Israel's realizing and starting to do it by getting more independent. I think this whole thing has not been beneficial to the state of Israel. Israel could have wiped out their enemies a long time ago if it hadn't been for these fucking Yanks and their fucking bullshit. Israel could have wiped them out a long time ago. And let's be clear now. These people are not, I'm not saying he didn't love Charlie Kirk, I'm sure he did, but he is using it for other things. And if Israel decides to pull the slip and say, okay, we're going to be independent. I've seen now they're saying we're going to be, they've got this laser thing up and going. They've got the Iron Dome system. They're going to be bringing it all to Israel because I think that's the best thing. Because America can't be trusted. I'm sorry. It's a horrible thing to say. But they cannot be trusted. They are dancing with the devil at the moment. It doesn't matter how much supposed wins Trump's got or whatever the case may be, great for him. But no, this is about Israel's survival, and it seems to me that it is becoming apparently clear that Israel is losing support in America. I'm sorry to say it. Michael Francis, who's profited off being an ex-mob boss, okay? He's a Christian, apparently. And he's of no political influence, but he's an iconic figure. He was an ex-mob captain or whatever. Saying there might be credence to Israel and Charlie Kirk. He didn't say the assassination, but he praised Candace Owens. This guy does nothing but shrill for his fucking wines, his fucking books, his fucking everything. And I don't dislike Michael Francis, but don't fuck with Israel. Don't. Because it's lies. It's lies. The people at that meeting have said that did not happen. By the way, it wasn't just Jews that were there. There were other people on his team who said, this did not happen. That Candace Owens is insinuating. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Ackman slaps her with another lawsuit. And he should. Sue this woman into oblivion. She has got away with this shit for far too long. No one has, her fop of a husband hasn't got the balls. He's got his balls in her purse to say to her, enough now. Slap another one against her, and this time, because she's got no evidence, she's besmirched Bill Ackman's name, and of course the Macrons, who I hate, but in this case, hey, go for it, and sue her because she's got no evidence. She tried to get the case with the Macrons dismissed. And they said, no, it's not going to happen. So she's going to court. And there she can't lie. She can't play little games. There she's going to have to answer hard questions. And believe me, the lawyers that they've got are going to tear her limb from limb. So this cocksucker is, he's riding the high wave now too. And he's using his friend's death as some kind of thing. By the way, Charlie Kirk is... I like Charlie Kirk. I didn't really follow him that much at that time. I kind of went off him because, they're talking about America and what's good for me. It means nothing to me, okay? What America does is not important. But he never called this guy out. Karis Rea said... they are not anti-Semitic, and I would never call them. But she said they are certainly enablers, meaning that they give this guy a platform after all the vicious things he has said about Jews and about Israel, or certainly about Israel, and the revisionist stuff he's brought out, and all this kind of crap. he has said he never ever talked against and said what they are doing is wrong. They claim that he did call out Candace Owens. It wasn't a call out. Carasria said he had an opportunity to actually say this is wrong what she's doing, and I don't agree with her. He never did. It's one thing to have opinions. It's another thing to say that Israel is a demonic nation. And clearly, now she's trying to pin this on Israel. That the man is not been dead, he wasn't even dead. A couple of days she brings out this thing about Israel. Not to mention Ian Carroll, who started, well, it wasn't just Ian Carroll, the guy from Reddit, I can't remember the fucking asshole's name, but he came out with this tweet that was sent by the Smith guy, who I've seen and is a raving anti-Semite. Christian anti-Semite. If Israel loses America, I guess it would be hard, but I don't think it'll happen because America benefits way more than Israel does, and certainly in this cooperation that they have with Israel, militarily, technology. It's not going to end. There's too many pesos being made here. But Israel is starting to pull back more independence, and they have to. Because if they go against Iran again, they don't want Trump fucking just declaring a ceasefire and stopping Israel from what it has to do. Because that's what he did. That's what he did. For his own shameless... Because of people like this who claimed it was going to be World War III, and they said, no, we're just going to bomb, and that's it. No boots on the ground. No one said anything about them going into Iran. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. But it wouldn't surprise me that Tucker Carlson would say that, because he's a shrill for Iran. When he actually asked a question of the president of Iran, who means nothing. The guy's not the supreme leader. He calls the shots, the supreme leader. Why are you chanting? You say you chant death to America, death to Israel. No. It's not meant like that. It's meant because of some other ridiculous thing. And he gave him a pass. Instead of saying, what are you talking about? There's video of you guys jumping up and down saying death, burning flags. That's pretty straightforward to me, what you mean by that. He didn't push back. So he would have an incentive to protect Iran. America first, really? Or is he Qatar first? We should look into they have been looking into who's been paying sending him his pink slips. And, he's a multi-millionaire. Why would you have when you love money, millions is not enough. You need more and more and more and more and more. And the Qataris are quite happy to dish it out to this fucking asshole. They reeled this fish in very quickly. Anyway, there was another thing I wanted to look at. There was something... let's just see if we can find some interesting stuff. Oh, there she is, this monster. Oh, she's a disgusting individual. She's not clever, she's not smart, she's just a grifter. Let's see here. Oh, she's with... okay. What's that? When hate proves the promise. What the hell is that about? That sounds like a load of horse shit. Oh, he's hanging out with Cenk Uygur now. Jeez, that's bad. Yeah, so basically, I think I'll just leave it at that. There's nothing really else I want to talk about. Although, there's a lot of... it was inevitable this would happen. I knew that Israel was going to come into play at some point. I didn't realize it so quickly. And by the way, what's his name? Dave Smith. has now thrown a bone to his fans because they were saying, "What happened?" I don't know. And the people from the people that oppose him say, "Finally, you had a moment of clarity." Oh, we can't have that. He wants his click. He wants the Pedros to come rolling in. So of course he threw his fans a bone and released some texts saying it's possible that he had a problem with Israel. You know, just threw out a couple of bones there for them to chew on for a bit. These dumb fucking fans. Yeah, he did, and he had a moment of fucking clarity. But of course, he will go straight back to his bread and butter, which is going after Israel, and uses his Jewishness to do it. He's a despicable guy, and yes, he's. Another thing is he was on the stage with Josh Hammer. Now, what the fuck is a unfunny comedian who knows nothing about the region, by the way. He's never been there. That's still an issue. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if he doesn't go to the area. Of course it matters. If you want to comment on it and you want to condemn, yes, you should go there and see it for yourself. He hasn't gone there yet. He's up there. Charlie Kirk brings him up there to debate Josh Hammer, who knows what he's talking about. And by the way, at this conference, Jews were being made to feel uncomfortable by the crowd. People walked out when Tucker Carlson. There was division happening in Turning Point USA. Now Charlie. It doesn't matter anymore. Charlie's gone. But I hope his wife sees it. I don't know, this fucking idiots. Oh, God, I'm going to waste my time with him. What else is there? Bassem Youssef. Yeah, he got his fucking oar in there. This fucking, look at his earphones. He looks like a dick. Looks like he's got two, what do they call those, bread matzah on his fucking ears. He had to jump in. And funny enough, Piers Morgan, broken clock is right maybe once a day or twice a day. I don't know what the saying is. Called him out and said he's a hater of Israel. So anything that happens in the world, he'll blame fucking Israel for it. He can't not. It's like an obsession with this douchebag. My question is, how the fuck did he get into America? Who gave him citizenship? Who? Certainly not for his comedy, because I never see him doing comedy. This is what he became famous for, really, was going on Piers Morgan's show. Why is he in the US? Who gave this man citizenship in the US? That I would love to know. And I would love to know, if you want to start getting rid of useless people in your country, United States, start with Bassem Youssef. He provides nothing to America. Nothing. Send him to Gaza, because he cares so much about Gaza. Let him take his chances there. Send him there. He can do a stand-up for his Hamas buddies in the tunnels. They'll probably kill him, because he's not funny. What else is there? Oh, this fucking asshole. What's his name? Alex Stein. Oh, God, he's an idiot. Israel takes on Gaza City, Gideon's chariots to begin. So you need to see this. This guy's also strange in his thinking. He says some weird shit. I just don't get it. Let's see what he says.
Israel just began Operation Gideon's Chariots 2, with 3 full divisions moving into the Gaza Strip with a stated goal of clearing Gaza City of Hamas. The Israeli defense minister speaking to this operation said, quote, "Gaza is burning." Meanwhile, a sitting U.S. senator just a few moments ago said that Israeli operations in Gaza are ethnic cleansing, which I believe makes him the most senior U.S. official to make that statement since the war began. We will play that full video.
I'd like to see who that is.
Start with what we know in terms of operations on the ground. The IDF put out a couple statements here saying, quote,
This is an ally. Not to mention the fact that Britain, we're slow walking weapons. You give hardly any weapons to Israel. In fact, you get more from Israel. Do you have any idea how much safety, the fact that these people are allies, how much their country benefits off the intelligence that Israel gives them and saves fucking lives. Saves fucking lives like this douchebag and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Have you any idea how much? Let me ask you this. How much benefit they're going to get from Qatar, a country that harbors terrorists, that created Al Jazeera and funds Hamas? How much are you going to get from them? Fuck all. Except stupid shills like Tucker Carlson, who's been bought and paid for. And that other fucking redneck comedy guy. What's his name? The one that went there to do comedy for the troops and ended up ramp modeling in his little fucking Lawrence of Arabia outfit. What's his name? Theo Von. Who's got the same haircut like as Greta Thunberg. I don't know if that's a coincidence. These people are turning on. Israel's going for victory here. They cannot have Hamas living on their borders. October 7th proved that. Have we all forgotten what happened? I'm going to play a video of what happened on October 7th. Just to remind these fucking assholes who you're dealing with. And who Israel has to sit next to when you're throwing out sanctions against them. By the way, those sanctions are going to do fuck all. Because in this computer alone, how many components come from Israel? How much medical stuff comes from Israel? Technology. Everything in your house probably has components from Israel. You're going to sanction them? You're going to boycott them? Then shut down your computer. Take out your GPS finder. Take away a lot of things. Your phones, throw them in the sea like Greta Thunberg did. Because that's what boycotting Israel actually means. Heart-saving medicines, surgeries, stents. Get rid of it all. You want to boycott Israel? America? You want to boycott Israel? Britain? You want to boycott Israel? France? And all these other, Spain. Yeah, that fucking asshole. You know what he said? The Prime Minister of fucking Spain. If we had nuclear weapons, we would have done something about it. You know what? Israel should fire a rocket just into a building in Spain. Blow it up. And say, don't fuck with us. It's the time Israel started exerting its power. Because fucking assholes like that, with the history of his goddamn country, has the audacity to speak like that about Israel? I would have kicked that fucking Spanish ambassador out of Israel just after he made those statements. Taking him in. Take it. You got 24 hours. Pack up your shit and get the fuck out of our country. People are disgusting. They're siding with the fucking enemy of Israel. The terrorists who want to murder Jews wherever they find them. They're quite happy. America doesn't live next door to a hostile nation. Oh, we're being invaded, says Tucker Carlson, by Mexicans in sombreros. Oh my God, my heart pumps custard for you. You allowed them in. You allowed them in. Fucking douche. Anyway, let's carry on with this fuck. I've got my reserves about him. I don't like his commentary.
Past day, IDF troops in the Southern Command from the 98th, 162nd, and 36th Divisions have begun expanded ground operations in Gaza City as a part of Operation Gideon's Chariots 2. The Gaza Division is operating in the security zone along the border facing the western Negev communities and operating in the Rafah and Han Yunis areas, while the 99th Division is operating in the northern Gaza Strip. In the past
Okay, let's
week,
get to the guys.
leading up
I want to
to
hear your
operations, they say the Israeli Air Force on your shoulders a decisive attacks being carried out is really shaping up for. There's a lot of areas there where the IDF either has not been or has had a very
guy looks like he belongs to a cult.
since October 7th. So moving into some of those areas, Minister Katz said, quote, Gaza is burning. The IDF strikes with an iron fist at the terrorist infrastructure, and IDF soldiers are fighting bravely to create the conditions for the release of the hostages and the defeat of Hamas.
No problem with that.
We will not relent and we will not go back until the completion of the mission. We have a little bit more here from the IDF, but I'm going to insert a personal opinion here. I'm not
are you?
and I don't think this should come as a shock at this point. It doesn't seem like there is a military solution right now to get the hostages back. And this isn't some new revelation that I just woke up.
Well, tell us, clean-cut little fucking boy next door, what is the options? If you have a better option, give it. Amazing these people have their opinions. I'm going to insert my own personal... No one gives a fuck about your personal opinion, cocksucker. Apparently he was in the US Air Force, US Army or something, I don't know. Of course, what do you think is going to happen? Every time Israel had a ceasefire, what did they do? Slow walk to... No, Israel's saying no. You don't get to do that anymore. You're playing games with us. We're coming in there and we're going to fuck you up. And we're going to get back our hostages. But don't think you can hide behind the hostages. What other thing can happen here? Preston, that's his name, by the way. Americans and their fucking names. Preston. God, I don't know where they get... Just anyway. What is the other option? To have a ceasefire? They slow walk terrorists. They're not going to give up all the hostages. Israel said, we are going to go after you until you, if you don't, you're going to die. We want all our hostages back. All of them. And we're not playing games anymore. We've just taken out your guys in Doha, and we will take them out wherever they are. You have an opportunity to live. And if you want to live, surrender and give back the hostages. Now, they'll be stubborn. But right now, Israel is pounding Gaza City. It's going in and it's meticulously taking apart the terrorist infrastructure. They have mined that entire fucking place. And they are going in. What is your... What genius fucking... because the Americans always win wars. You know, they've proven how good they are at fighting wars. Not many. Not many to speak of. Why don't you do it like you did in Lebanon? Hey, you're the guys who say that by removing the civilian populace from Gaza, it's ethnic cleansing. It's ethnic cleansing. Removing the Gazan civilians away from the war zone is ethnic cleansing. No pressure on Egypt to take these people in and keep them in an area in the Sinai, which has plenty of space. And they're not going to wander off because there's no water in Sinai. They'll be dead within a day. You don't want them to do that. So Israel's having to fight with these people bottled up and use this human shield by Hamas. Then they say, why are you killing civilians? We want to move them out. No, but you're ethnically cleansing. Okay, well then they can say, no, you're killing civilians. You can't win. Now, what is the option for Israel? They have to finish this. There's no options. Hamas needs to be destroyed. That is what has to happen. We don't fight a war and then run back to our country miles and miles away and then go live off the fucking veterans medical thing. They have to live with us on their borders. That is why they are doing what they have to do. And yes, unfortunately, it's a shitty situation. But there's no other option. Militarily, there's no other option.
This morning went, oh man, I don't think that's going to work. I think anybody following this conflict and
we're all looking to you.
Israel, I see a lot of feedback and a lot of emails and wonderful notes from people much closer to this conflict than I. It's hard to see at this point.
It'll stop you from giving their fucking opinion
to the return of the hostages. Just, to fully eliminate everyone in Hamas, you're going to have to eliminate some of those people that are guarding the hostages and they're holed up right next to them. At which point we have already seen Hamas.
That's where intelligence comes into it, Preston. You know, I've heard from people who are far more close to this this war than me, yet you're giving your goddamn opinion. No one gives a shit about your opinion, sir. I'm certainly not taking military advice from some ex-fucking army guy from America, because you never win any wars. You never win wars. You're shitty at fighting wars. Absolutely. You've lost, what, 50,000 fucking troops in Vietnam? I don't know how many in Iraq, Afghanistan. You take huge casualties. And you don't even care about the populace. You just go in there guns blazing. I mean, this is the theater of the fucking absurd. I'm not a military man. I've never been in the army. I don't know what it's like to fight. But I can tell you this. How do you fight a war when they demand that the people stay in the shithole? And the civilians, of course, civilians, in the terms of the Gazans, you have to leave them there. And the UN won't deliver the food as long as the GHF is there because, of course, they want to give it to Hamas. Enough. This is what Israel's doing. Get used to it. So take your clicks and fucking just put a whatever. But don't give... I don't think this is going to work. You don't know shit. What do you suggest they do? Like Douglas Murray said, if you've got a better option, give it to me and I will give it to the highest general in the Israeli Defense Force. We've all got an opinion. They must do this or they must do... Shut the fuck up. You're not the one fighting this goddamn war and how complex this goddamn war is. So sick and tired of these people.
The hostages when Israeli forces get close, lest they risk there actually being a successful rescue operation.
Oh.
So it's very
Well,
hard
you know about that,
to think
don't
of
you?
this. I think you can have one or the other at this point. And I understand that is a serious debate inside of Israel right now, is there are people pushing back saying that the hostages are not being prioritized, and I can understand that. And I think it's been that way for quite a while. Just outside looking in, it's not increased firepower, it's not a few more airstrikes.
By the way, Israel did say if you offer to give the hostages back, we can talk. We can talk. Why did you take out the negotiating team in Doha? First of all, it wasn't a negotiating team. It's fucking Hamas. Bassem Youssef, you douchebag. These are people that planned that October 7th and they fuck around and they look, oh, we're looking at... Fuck you. You get a rocket up your ass because that's what you deserve. I don't have any qualms about Israel killing every last Hamas, every last one of them. No scams. And if there are reporters reporting propaganda for them, they're a target. Absolutely. If there are doctors that are on the payroll of Hamas, they're targets. They're targets. Absolutely. I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep over it. This guy is supposedly trying to be objective. I've seen his stuff before, and I don't really pay much attention to him, and he's made a lot of clicks off this. These people are making lots of money. I mean, I don't know who he is or what is his actual qualification. I mean, if you just picked up a gun one day and shot at some Iraqis, somehow you know everything. This is nothing like Iraq. This is nowhere close to Iraq. It's nowhere close to Afghanistan. This is a very complex battlefield. One that Israel is really trying to do the right thing and not kill civilians, but kill the terrorists.
It's not a few more ground raids that will lead at this point to a rescue operation. That's not to say we're never going to see that again, right? The Israeli military and security apparatus is incredible in what they're able to pull off.
Well, better than you guys.
Question that is still in the cards somewhere, but that right now it's very hard to look at that and say that there's a military solution to the successful, safe return of all remaining living hostages. The IDF spokesperson, Brigadier General Defrin, put out a statement saying, quote, Gaza City is the central hub of Hamas's military and governing power, their main stronghold. Hamas has turned Gaza City into the largest human shield in history. That's going to be important. That's something President Trump spoke to just before this operation kicked off. He says, beneath the streets runs a vast network of tunnels connecting command centers, rocket launchers, and weapons storage facilities.
Hence the reason they've been taking out the high rises.
And civilian infrastructure. We continue to urge civilians to distance themselves away from the combat zones in Gaza City so they can reach safer areas. We've seen a lot of footage in recent days of migration within the Gaza Strip.
I'm starting to be interested in what you have to say, douchebag. I want to see this supposed senator
And while Israel works to open corridors for civilians
giving his fucking
such as the
50
Rashid
cents
corridor,
worth.
Hamas is actively trying to block them, forcing families to turn back and remain in harm's way in order to.
Let's just do this.
As I was putting this video together, something popped up on my feed. We have Senator Dan Holland just back from a trip
Oh
to
yeah,
Israel.
he's a fucking cocksucker. That
Blatant bias in favor of Zionist propaganda and constitute double standards because they ignore the ethnic cleansing and the like timing, like waiting for President Trump to say that or not. But just notable, Israel was rearing to go when President Trump made that statement. Hamas responded to President Trump saying, quote, Trump's statements regarding the terrorist attack by the occupation army of Gaza and the situation of the Zionist prisoners are a blatant bias in favor of Zionist propaganda and constitute double standards because they ignore the ethnic cleansing and the killing of 65.
Why are you even taking him fucking
As
seriously?
mentioned previously, we're not getting a lot of information from Hamas at this point. I would expect to see an increase in some of their footage, some of their statements here in coming days as combat intensifies in Gaza City. Now, amidst all of this, as I was putting this video together, something popped up on my feed. We have Senator Dan Holland just back from
Yeah, he's
Israel,
a lovely
who
guy.
lays out pretty clearly here. He says, based off what I've seen, Israel is committing ethnic cleansing. I believe this is the most senior current U.S. official to make this.
Yeah, and he's anti-Israel. Holland has been anti-Israel for a fucking long time. A fucking long time. Him and another senator went out there. Have you no shame? Your ally was attacked. Your ally. I don't remember Israel talking about this, about the way you operated in Afghanistan, the way you operated in Iraq, or even in Vietnam. I don't think Israel was people in Israel, pundits in Israel, making statements in favor of their enemies. Oh no, you have enough of them in America to do that for you, okay? You never won a war. Then you get two I suspect they're Democrats, I could be wrong, going over there and making the claim that there's ethnic cleansing. So in other words, Holland, I don't know what his name, Holland or A. Holland or whatever the fuck he's called, he's quite happy for the Gazan civilians. Yeah, bear in mind, the civilians went over into the kibbutzim and raped and murdered what Hamas had left in their wake. Okay? Let's not forget that. He's quite happy for them to stay there in the line of fire. Absolutely. It's ethnic cleansing. What? But telling civilians to get out of harm's way, that's ethnic cleansing? And yes, I do think having a hostile people on your borders with the intention of wiping you off the fucking face of the earth is something that should be looked at. Absolutely. Holland doesn't have them living on his fucking lawn. It's easy for you. It's ethnic cleansing. I'm so great. I'm a senator and I'm so virtuous because I'm pointing out that it's ethnic cleansing. They're not living on your doorstep, you fucking douche. They're not living on your fucking doorstep. If the Mexicans suddenly started saying death to America and they want to kill every American, do you think Holland would be saying, well, it's ethnic cleansing because America went in and moved them? Maybe he would. I don't know. Maybe it's for open borders. I don't know. But it's the most stupidest thing. No one should have to live with this on their borders. No one. No one. I've said it before and I've said it again. Israel can't cover all the PR things. They're fighting a war. But when Israel gets victory, people take note and they respect Israel. If Holland is so worried about ethnic, why don't he invite them to his house and come stay there, or in America? Take them. You want to go after Israel? Then you take them. These countries that are so, okay, yeah, we'll send them to you. Yeah, you can have them. It's my thought. Why should Israel have to live with this shit? Why? Carry on, douchebag.
This sort of claim. Let's go ahead and play that full video here.
This guy looks like he's never touched a gun in his life.
The Netanyahu government is engaged in a campaign
Oh.
of ethnic cleansing.
Oh, this guy looks like he looks like a slimy Qatari. He's bought and paid for. They talk about Israel, and Qatar's got his pockets full of oily money. It's oozing out of his fucking pores. Look at this cocksucker. A politician I could never find. This guy's probably getting paid by Qatar or some fucking nefarious bunch. I guarantee it. Israel is committing ethnic cleansing because I know best, because I don't live there next to these people, but Israel must, because I'm just a fucking cocksucker. He's sucking Arab dick, this guy. Absolutely.
Senator Jeff Murphy and I just recently returned from a week-long trip to the Middle East.
Oh, did you know?
Israel, the West Bank, Jordan, and Egypt. And we focused on lots of issues, but the main area of focus was on
Just
absolute.
I wonder what this truck gets past. How am I doing here? I'm going on an hour. This guy's anti-Israel all the fucking way. He's been many times. He had, he interviewed Anthony Aguilera, the supposed whistleblower from the GHF, who's been proven to be a liar. He had him on. And listened to his lies. As I told you, that child he talked about is alive. It's not dead. Israel fired into the crowd. None of the GHF have said that ever happened. And that Tony Aguilera was fired for his unprofessionalism. He spent more time in Tel Aviv than he did in the Gaza Strip. Yet this cocksucker takes him at his word. Has he denounced Tony Aguilera? He went there with a senator and he spoke to all the right people, by the way. Did he meet with Netanyahu? Did he meet with any Israeli delegation? Because there are people that have gone in there and they've said there's food rotting in the sun because the UN will not deliver it to the people of Gaza. They refuse. Where are you on that, douchebag? Where are you on that? This fucking American... Never won a war since World War II. This is what we have.
Humanitarian catastrophe
Oh, really?
in Gaza.
Oh,
He came
really?
away with one inescapable conclusion.
Oh, he's hanging
And
out
that
with
is
the...
that the Netanyahu government is engaged in a campaign of ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Now, both of us fully believe that Israel had a right and a duty
Oh,
to
thank you.
defend itself.
He went to the... Oh, yeah, he's got to cover all his bases. He went to the kibbutzim. If he really actually looked at what actually happened and the testimonies of what happened, these people came into Israel, they slaughtered, murdered. He's got to go down there, he's got to show he's not biased. He's absolutely biased. Absolutely. Don't be distracted by the fact that this guy has had a problem with Israel for a long time. Him and Massey suck each other's dicks, I'm pretty sure. It's disgusting to me. You were supposed to be an ally. Act like one, for God's sake. There's no ethnic cleansing going on in Gaza. That is not the policy of Netanyahu. He has never said we're going to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Maybe one or two of his cabinet members have said it, but Netanyahu has wholly rejected it. He's the leader. Me personally, boot them out. They give nothing. They took that beautiful piece of real estate and they ballsed it all up. Kick them out. They don't deserve a state. What state? Look at the state of Gaza even before Israel went in there. It's a shithole. And it's not because of Israel, it's because of Hamas governing. By the way, it's not that bad. I did a thing where you can go, tourists, guys giving his tour of Gaza as he says. These people aren't living in a concentration camp. It's a load of horse shit. And that's one of the reasons why I thought having Dave Smith on there to debate a guy who actually knows his shit it's a joke. Charlie Kirk, it was a joke to bring that man on stage to debate an actual guy who knows what he's talking about. It's a joke to have someone like Tucker Carlson who went on and started saying that Epstein's a Mossad agent with no evidence, but stating it as fact. That's crazy to me. That's kooky to me. And I don't want to besmirch Charlie Kirk. The man is dead, and he died doing what he loved. And it is upsetting what happened. But let's not be fooled here. Charlie Kirk said things about Israel that were not accurate. Were not accurate. Certainly in terms of the relationship militarily. He gave the impression that they hand Israel a blank check. And this is a talking point of all these douchebags. Hand Israel a blank check to do with what they want. That is not the case. That is not the case. Israel sells weapons to America. A lot of American defense systems are better because of Israeli intervention. Israel has to spend money in America. That's the deal. Doesn't go anywhere else. And they have to purchase American weapons. Not to mention the fact that they try out these weapons because they're in constant war, not by their own doing. They test out these weapons and improve on the weapons. They've taken the F-35 and improved on it. They're sitting with the most technological plane in the world. And not to mention the thousands and thousands of jobs that rely on the relationship with Israel. They want to put them out of work, apparently. Tucker Carlson can fit their bill. But that's what they want. It's not a blank check. It's not funding Israel. It's not sending aid to Israel. It's not. It's a military relationship that one side benefits of far more, certainly monetarily wise, than Israel. America benefits it way more. Why I think this relationship will not end. There will be people kicking and screaming to stop people from taking away this. And Israel's saying, we need to get independent. They're starting the ball rolling. Thank God. With allies like this, who needs enemies? I'm really, because Trump might be an ally to Israel. What about the next president? And I'm not saying J.D. Vance, but J.D. Vance is an enigma to me when it comes to Israel. It doesn't seem to really be doesn't clarify where he stands. And if he's hanging out with people like Tucker Carlson, and lets Tucker Carlson take a jab at a sitting prime minister of Israel without any pushback, that concerns me. That concerns me. So no, I think Israel needs to get out on her own. It needs to have what she needs, where she needs it, and goes. And America must just, I don't know. Don't want to be friends with them, then bugger that. Fine. Israel's in the business of winning wars, not prolonging them. Unlike the Yanks.
But it's very clear that the Netanyahu government
has
gone way beyond targeting Hamas to imposing collective punishment on the people of Gaza. We're here on the Egyptian side of the Rafah Gate, looking over.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to pause it. This is my show, so I'm going to pause it. Yeah, interesting you're standing on the Egyptian side who won't let the civilians in to Egypt. What have you said to Egypt? Why haven't you demanded that Egypt take those people who aren't combatants you're quite happy for them to stay in Gaza? I mean, you can't have it both ways. You either want the civilians to be protected or you don't. Holland, with your fucking stupid cap that looks like he's got a fucking egg on his head. Which is it? Israel demanded of the Egyptians to take the Gazan refugees. It's actually by law. We want to quote international law all the time. International law requires Egypt to take those refugees, and they outrightly refused. The Jordanians, we'll just take the sick children. But Israel's committing genocide. And in the same breath, no. You don't want them because it makes Israel look bad. Egypt built a bigger wall and brought in tanks and all kinds to prevent the Gazans from leaving Gaza. The civilians. What do you do? What do you do? You're saying they're collectively punishing the civilians when Israel has asked Egypt to take these people and keep them in the Sinai so they're out of harm's way. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. And this man is not doing any good. He's not saving any Gazans. He's not helping anybody. He's out there for his own shameless self-promotion. It's disgusting.
Gaza, and it has been absolutely leveled. It is just a pile of rubble.
Why?
If you
Why?
look at the numbers put forward by international
Oh
organizations,
yes, so we all trust international organizations like Amnesty International, which is vehemently anti-Israel. What's the one that Roth fucking cocksucker Jew runs? He's also vehemently anti-Israel. It's just not right. And by the way, this has all been refuted by people that actually know what they're talking about. John Spencer, who is a military historian, he has proven this to be wrong. Is it Fox? Can't remember his first name. British guy has proven these numbers are not true. He doesn't quote them. Actual people that know who have actually been into the war zones. Not like him standing in Egypt, where he's nice and safe. These people have actually gone in there and said, this is what is actually happening. John Spencer said, and he would know, he's an expert. Unlike this cocksucker, who gets paid, probably by Qatar, to spin this crap. Sharing a paycheck with Tucker Carlson. Bought and paid for. I guarantee, I can't prove it, but I guarantee you, just go look at his bank account. You'll see some fucking Arab writing somewhere. And then he'll probably adorn a fucking Arab headdress and start these people are disgusting. They don't care about the Gazans. He doesn't give a goddamn about the Gazans. Oh, but he went there. Yeah, he went there to push his own propaganda. These people are disgusting. Disgusting.
they estimate 90% of the homes in Gaza that were destroyed
So high.
were severely damaged. Part of the Netanyahu government strategy has
Oh,
been
you know what their strategy is now, douche.
And what we saw very clearly was that the Netanyahu government was raising obstacles to the delivery of that food. We went to the Israeli port of Ashdod that the World Food Program uses to offload food destined to help starving people in Gaza. But because of the unnecessary restrictions imposed on the government of Israel, only a very small
What restrictions? They have to check. My God. You're using this guy as evidence that there's ethnic cleansing in God. He just said there's such restrictions. The food is rotting in the sun, you cocksucker. Notice he never went there. How convenient. Him and his buddy never went there. And they've been YouTubers, they've been fucking PlayStation guys who used to be PlayStation have been there and said, look at all the fucking food that hasn't been picked up by the United Nations. It's been checked, it's been sent through, And no mention about the GHF that is feeding the Gazans right now as we speak. No mention. This is the very dodgy guy to use as your example of ethnic cleansing. Whatever the hell his name, Preston, whatever. This guy's lying through his teeth. And all I have to say, he had a sit down with Tony Aguilera. That's all you need to know about him and what his he knows the strategy of the Israeli government. Does he really? No, he doesn't. What he perceives is the strategy. He takes the word of people like Tony Aguilera, who has been proven to be a liar, who is quite happy to lie through his teeth to get his point across, because they fired him and he's angry, so he turns on the Jews. Best scapegoat ever. Always the same. Always. Oh, let's just use the old scapegoat. Now I'm going to curse Israel. Israel's killing civilians. Oh my God. Oh, it's on every fucking channel you can possibly find. Very good grift. You want to make money? Put out anti-Israel propaganda. You're set. It's evil. It's evil. And I hope they called him out. Where was the ambassador? Why didn't he come out and confront this guy? And say, why are you lying about what's going on in Gaza? Make a video or something and say, you're lying about Gaza. You never cared. Did he see the ambassador?
Share of food that could be delivered immediately actually.
No, because they're not delivering.
Folks who need the food the most are, of course, kids and the vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
And they're just not.
Look at this fucking guy. What's his story? Frankenstein?
Trip with our first public meeting with families.
Oh my God! I would have said I wouldn't have if I was a hostage, a family of a hostage, and these two came to me. I'd say, I'm not interested in being interviewed by you. I know exactly what you're here to do. I know exactly what you're here to do. You use the hostages' families for your propaganda, sir? You have got no soul. No soul. I'm being deadly serious. I really believe. I can't believe that people would use Charlie Kirk's death to pin it on Israel, to go after Israel. Don't tell me this isn't spiritual, that this isn't demonic. No other war. The Ukrainian war. No one's going there and saying, oh, but, Charlie Kirk was killed, so the Ukrainians have... No one's saying that. No, it was Mossad. It has to be Mossad. Why is this guy with a face mask on his face? I mean, the ridiculousness of these people. It's for clicks. It's that simple. Clicks. They're profiting off Charlie Kirk's death. This guy probably being paid by Qatar. Have we come to this in this world? I don't get a fucking cent from anybody. Not the Israeli government. I don't get calls from Netanyahu to say, hey, you're doing what? I don't get any of it. I haven't got that many followers. It's clearly not profitable for me. But the truth matters, guys. I mean, people... Have you sold your soul? Does anyone honestly believe that this fucking douchebag gives a rat's ass about the Gazan children? Yet he's standing in Egypt, a country that has brought tanks to the border to stop Palestinians leaving to get to safety. Really? You want me to believe that you care about the Gazans, yet you are standing in the same country. They have refused to take these people, and they are obligated to by law, yet they don't do it. Anyway, let's just see what else this douchebag has to say, and then I'm finished. I've gone over an hour now, so I can't go on for much longer.
The ones we met with said that Prime Minister Netanyahu has prioritized his political support.
Oh, so it's enemies of Netanyahu, not all the hostages, the families, only the ones that say Netanyahu has prioritized his political. So this guy's anti-Netanyahu, he hates Netanyahu. Holland. So it's not about the Gazan children. It's about Netanyahu. Interesting. And yes, there are a lot of Israelis that don't like Netanyahu, but there are a lot of Israelis that do. Hence the fourth he was voted in. He's been the longest standing politician in Israeli history. So there are people out there that like his policies. Yes, this is a shitty situation. But to be so low, to go to the families just so you can get dirt on Netanyahu. You are a sick, sick person. And if these are the politicians in America, America's going to be over in, I'll be generous, 10 years, if you're lucky. Because you are so divided, you don't know who the enemy is. I think it's beyond saving. I really do. It's sad to say that. I don't want America to fall. I don't think they're the be-all and end-all of everything, like they do, but, you know, I don't want them to fall away. They've given us lots in this world. I mean, you know, a lot of what Jews created, of course, Hollywood and comedy and all that kind of stuff is mostly Jews, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, it's looking bad. Not for Israel, but for America. It's looking bad. You just had a man taken out for what he believes in front of his family. You've had people goddamn celebrate it as something wonderful. Now you know, these people that are angry at that, now you know what the Jews felt after October 7th, when they were celebrating, tearing down posters of hostages, babies. Now you know the grief of what Israel went through. But now your guy's been taken, oh my God, these people are so demonic. Okay, now you know exactly what happened to Israel. Yet you don't see it. You can't bring yourself to say, because Israel's responsible for everything. No, Israel did it. Israel's got a lot on their plate right now. I don't think they were worrying about Charlie Kirk turning on Israel. I think it was the last problem they had. There were a lot of Jews that loved Charlie Kirk. I don't think it was a major thing for them. They're fighting for their goddamn existence. They are fighting a war. They're doing incredible work. They're fighting terrorism, evil. What are you doing in America? I'm always going to stress this. What are you doing in America? Sitting on podcasts with fat bastards like fucking Tim Dillon, making up shit. A guy who's a professional fucking clown. How funny he is, I don't know. Flying his fat ass to Saudi Arabia to get money, to do comedy in Saudi Arabia. Give me a break. That's what he's doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Figuring out conspiracy theories, looking at, oh look, there's this androgynous guy walking with a glove on his hand. He's the guy, apparently he's the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. What? That's what they're doing. That's what America's doing. Conspiracy. Tinfoil hats. Jesse Ventura. I can't do it. How do you do his accent? Look at that. I saw there were flying saucers before they shot Charlie Kirk. I mean, this is what's going on. They must have had to be very good to their Jews in America to become a superpower with morons like this. I mean, really. I don't hate America, but after the way they've treated Israel, I'm sorry. And it's not the president. Just in general, I have to say I'm not impressed with the Americans at all. I think they have you talk about standing by your ally. Clearly, it's not important to you. And I think Israel should stop caring about it. Because, quite frankly, why would you want to... With allies like this, who needs enemies? Who needs enemies? Let the Islamists take over America. With this kind of shit, I can't... What else? You can't even recognize who the evil enemy is. Radical Islam. Not all Muslims, but the radical element of Islam. Who are clearly wanting to... They've gotten into the fucking Congress now. Where they're stating openly what they want to do. You can't... No, it doesn't mean it. Israel knows what they mean. It takes them very seriously. Anyway, I've had enough of you, fuckface, and your ridiculous fucking... Ugh, disgusting guy. I would have punched him in the face. Douchebag. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, yeah, I will you'll be seeing me again sometime soon. I just have to do it. It gets bottled up and you have to let it all out and say, hey, what's this? Anyway, thanks, guys. I will speak to you later. Bye.